Hey friends, and welcome to this new video dedicated to Garten of Banban 8. Today we have super important and fresh news to share with you. Just a few hours ago on the official Euphoric Brothers Discord server, Faris, one of the two developers, wrote some really important messages. We're talking about messages that officially confirm that Garten of Banban 8 is ready and that development is almost completely finished. Finally, after weeks and months of waiting and after analyzing teasers, images and trailers, we have direct confirmation from one of the creators themselves. The game is coming very soon. And this means that we'll soon be able to explore new areas, meet new characters, uncover untold mysteries, and discover what happens right after the events of Chapter 7. But wait, besides these confirmations, there are other messages from Faris that might contain hidden clues about gameplay mechanics, environments and new characters, and we're going to break them all down in just a moment. But first, if you're a Garten of Banban fan like me, or if you enjoy horror games full of puzzles, jump scares and secret lore, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. I promise you, in the coming days, there will be tons of videos, theories, gameplay and updates about Garten of Banban 8, and you definitely don't want to miss them. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content and want to support my work, leave a nice like on this video. It's free and helps a lot. Now let's get straight to the point. Let's dive into what Faris actually wrote and why these messages are some of the most important ones posted so far. And now let's move on to the first important message written by Faris on the official Euphoric Brothers Discord server. The message says, yeah, all the environments in Garten of Banban 8 have been finished already for a while. There it is. This is the key message I mentioned at the beginning of the video. With this sentence, Faris confirms that all the environments of the game, that means all the rooms, hallways, main areas, are already complete. And not only that, he even says they've been done for a while. This means we're no longer talking about a game that's still under construction, but one that's almost entirely finished. The full map where Garten of Banban 8 takes place is done and apparently has already been polished for weeks. This is huge news because it brings us even closer to the game's release. And now we can make a very interesting guess. If the environments are already done and most of the work seems to be completed, then it's possible that the official trailer could drop any moment now, maybe this very month or even in the next few days. But hold on, this message doesn't stand alone. There are other messages written by Faris. The next message is connected to this topic. So let's move to the next message and let's analyze the situation. Now let's move on to the second important message from Faris. This time it's not a full written reply, but it's still very interesting. A user on the server asked Faris a direct question: how close is Garten of Banban 8 to being done? A question we've all been wondering about for a while. Faris's reply? He simply reacted with a sticker saying that he can't answer. Now, at first glance this might seem like a non-answer, but in reality, it says a lot more than it seems. In fact, we can already understand the real answer thanks to all the clues he has dropped over the past few days. Let's remember, just a few days ago, Faris clearly said that Garten of Banban would be returning very soon, and in the previous part of this video, we saw the message where he confirmed that all the environments for Chapter 8 have been finished for a while. So even though officially Faris says he can't answer, the facts speak for themselves. The development of Garten of Banban 8 is almost complete. We're clearly in the final stages and they're most likely working on last-minute testing, optimization, and maybe even getting the trailer ready. In short, even if we didn't get a direct confirmation, we can say with a pretty good level of certainty that the game is nearly ready, and this isn't just a wild guess. It's a logical deduction based on official messages from the developers. We can connect it with an old message that we saw some days ago. Let's see it. And now let's connect this to another very interesting message written by Faris 11 days ago. Yes, because Faris had already mentioned the environments even before the recent confirmations. The message says, of course, it's just much more upgraded quality in terms of graphics, environments, gameplay and animation. As we can see, here Faris is clearly telling us that Garten of Banban 8 will feature a huge quality upgrade. Not only in terms of graphics, but also in the environments, the gameplay and even the animations. This is a very important confirmation. We're not just getting a simple sequel, but a chapter that brings a real technical and visual upgrade compared to the previous ones. And we already noticed some of these improvements in the fourth teaser trailer, where a few scenes showed much more detailed and polished environments compared to the earlier games in the series. But that's not all. In the previous video on this channel, we also analyzed a new exclusive image posted by Faris on Discord. In that image, we got a first look at a brand new environment never shown before, but most importantly, we could clearly see the graphical improvements. The textures are much sharper, the lighting is more realistic, and everything looks more polished and immersive. This confirms that the Euphoric brothers are aiming for a much higher level of quality, while keeping that unique style that made Garten of Banban so recognizable. And now comes the most exciting part. Now let's talk about another very interesting message, this time connected to one of the most mysterious characters in the game, Siringheon. A user on the Discord server asked Faris, "Yo Faris, may I ask why Siringheon looks weird on the poster in the trailer?" And Faris replied with a short but super meaningful answer, "You'll know when Garten of Banban 8 is out." This sentence, even though it's very simple, tells us a lot. It confirms that the Siringheon poster wasn't drawn that way by accident. There's a specific reason behind that different look. If you've seen the 4th teaser trailer, you know exactly what we're talking about. At one point, a poster of Siringheon appears, and his design is completely different from what we've seen before. But be careful, this is not a transformation. It's simply an alternate design, with a much more serious and angry expression. This detail instantly caught the attention of fans, because Siringheon in that poster looks much more authoritative and strict than usual, and that choice is definitely not random. It's very likely that there's a narrative explanation behind that poster, something we'll discover during the gameplay of Chapter 8. Maybe it's an official representation of the character inside the facility, or maybe it's related to a new role Siringheon will have in the upcoming game. And we shouldn't rule out the possibility that other characters will receive the same treatment. We might see other posters like that with different designs, maybe connected to secrets inside the facility or its hidden past. So once again, Faris doesn't give us a direct answer, but he makes it clear that everything has a meaning, and that we'll discover every detail once the game is finally in our hands. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of everything we've covered in this video. We analyzed new official messages from Faris posted on Discord, and they confirm something very important. The development of Garten of Banban 8 is almost complete. In the first message, Faris said that all the environments in the game have been finished for a while, which means the full map for the new chapter is already done. Then we saw that even though Faris didn't directly answer a fan who asked how close development is to being finished, his previous messages speak for themselves. The game is basically ready, and the trailer might be coming very soon. We also connected this to a message from 11 days ago, where Faris talked about a huge upgrade in graphics, environments, gameplay, and animations. And we mentioned the exclusive image we analyzed in the previous video, which showed a brand new environment and a clearly improved graphic style. Finally, we discussed the mysterious poster of Siringheon, seen in the 4th teaser trailer with a completely different design. Faris didn't explain why, but he said we'll find out when the game is released, so there's definitely a deeper story reason behind it. In short, Garten of Banban 8 is closer than ever, and all these new details make it one of the most promising chapters in the entire series. And we've reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and for staying with me until the end. As we've seen, Faris's messages are giving us more and more confirmation that the development of Garten of Banban 8 is almost complete, and each day we're getting closer to the official release. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel, because in the next few days I'll be posting new theories and news. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave a like and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.